to win trades or do that stuff with Aesol. Like, I know that is a weird champion, but I really like that. Like it, and
Aurelian Soul?
so yes.
Okay. Can I see your OPGG?
Yeah, for sure. I will send you. I'm gonna send you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see. Okay. Okay, so. Okay. Well, you play every mechanical champion in the game.
It's some game, yes, but those are for fun. I mean, if I got field, or maybe for fun. Like sometimes I play Cat or Akali, but nothing serious.
Okay. What is your goal? What are you trying to do?
So I'm trying to. So my dream is to work in the video game world, like, and there are two ways that I saw, like, being a pro player or being a streamer. And being a pro player is kind of impossible because, like, I got no hands at the moment, and
You could be. You could. Okay, what do you mean by video game world? You mean like game design? You could be a game designer.
no, I mean playing video games, like streamer or
Oh, I see.
thing like that. And
I
no
mean,
one cares about a silver streamer that
that
those shits with Aesol.
that industry of streaming and making money online or making money playing a video game isn't as glamorous as people think it is. You can ask a lot of people that do make money off of video games, but I mean, you can't go pro. You're in silver too.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
That's for sure.
Can't go professional. But
like, this is one of the way, but it's kind of impossible, that one. Right?
Is that even what you run on Aesol? Electrocute?
Depends on the matchup. Like,
Okay.
I use Electrocute if I saw a squishy champion mid lane and I want to win early.
Sure. Okay, so I guess we can start off the session with, like,
with our replay, I mentioned.
Yeah. So well, I don't think a replay would matter, right? Because now my question is, what is your appeal in Aesol as a champion?
Like, why I like it, you mean?
Yeah. Why do you?
I feel like, so I always like our roaming champion like Cat and Aesol, but this champ I feel like is as a unique mechanic, you know, like the balls are really good.
Why do you not? What is it that doesn't appeal to you with? Because you've seen my videos, right? You've seen me recommend Annie and Oriana.
Yes, for sure.
So what is it not? Why does that not appeal to you?
Like, I tried play Annie or Oriana, but I cannot influence them up with those champions. Like, even in team fights, I get in with Annie, I stun one person, maybe I kill him, then I have to wait 4 seconds, 5 seconds for the cooldown, and my team complete explode.
But what about, like, challengers who play Oriana, or, well, not Oriana, I think Oriana's too complex in silver, but like Annie in like gold and like challenger, they don't influence it. The people can do Annie to unranked to challenger, just Annie.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you are enough good with our, I mean, a challenger can always win a lane in silver.
So let's. Well, I mean, we want to figure out why the challenger can win, right? Because challengers are not some godsend, people that you put on a pedestal. We can break down the things they do, and once you do it, we realize that they're not that good. Some of them, right?
Yeah.
The first issue is that, see, there are fundamentals in League of Legends, and do you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah, you mean like stay on a right side or left side of lane, trading, do that stuff.
Sort of, but the fundamentals are CSing, trading, map
Yeah,
awareness,
yeah. I mean,
spacing, mouse accuracy, mouse speed, general
yes.
temp, all this stuff, right? Now, the stuff that makes you really good at the game is those fundamentals, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yes.
that is what describes a good player in lane. It is those fundamentals. If you don't have those fundamentals, you will never get better at the game, right? Sure, you can get up
Yeah.
ranking, but ranking does not mean that you're going to be a good player, right? You can get stuck in platinum for 500 games. Doesn't mean you're good, right?
Yeah.
Um, so the thing is, what you're doing, sure, maybe you can climb to platinum because no one else knows what they're doing around you or against it, but against an actual player, you're not gonna succeed, and you're not gonna learn, and you're not gonna propel that knowledge because, well, you see, uh, ASOL doesn't teach those fundamentals.
But you mean that CSing at so
Yes,
I cannot improve
you
like
cannot see, yes, you don't need to space against ASOL. Well, you do, but like you don't, like, it doesn't teach you those fundamentals. It's like it's like you're learning how to bike, but you're basically being held all the time by like someone else, so you never fall over. But because you never
or
fall over, you
right.
never learn how to ride the bike.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So no, I'm
Make
not. I'm not. I'm
sense.
not saying that you should drop ASOL, and I know people say that. I know that you're gonna hear me say, "Oh, you're solo 2, you should drop ASOL." No, don't drop the champion. What I'm asking you to do is make another account. Okay? And
Yeah, I also have another account.
can you show me other ID?
Yeah, I also I
Yeah.
play ASL on that too, but
Oh wait. Yeah, you gotta play
I
Annie.
mean
Yeah.
I play ASL on that too, but I can use that for
Yes.
playing.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
know
Yes. Yes.
Annie.
Yes. Play Annie, and be very, very like focused on the fundamentals of the game. And so then what? Like, okay, here's a question: what is the difference between you and a better ASOL player? What is the difference between you and Master Challenger ASOL player?
So is that the point? I don't. I mean, I know that I'm doing something wrong, but I don't see in those replays or streaming that challenger ASL players do. What are they doing better than me?
Okay, so
So
what's
I
what's
cannot
the
recognize
difference
that.
between you and a challenger?
So I mean,
What's the biggest
for sure,
difference between?
better
Yes, that's
fundamentals
all it
for
is.
sure.
That's all it is. It's just better fundamentals. His for their fundamentals are just better. That's all it is.
All right, but
So the way you approach that is you just get better fundamentally. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense. So I should play any on the second account,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I can play ASL for. So when I can say, all right, now
Mm-hmm.
I have a decent fundamentals, I can go playing Hazel
If
and
you're
do some stuff.
okay, I know that you enjoy the champion, and if you were to drop the champion, I don't think that you would probably end up even playing League of Legends. Um, so the first thing you do is you obviously you get, as we said, you get two IDs. The downside to this approach is that you're gonna have double the game, so it's gonna take a long time, right?
Yeah,
The best way to do it is to drop the champion ASOL, and then just play any. But if you don't want to do that, then you have to double your games. There is always going to be a consequence or some kind of a trade-off in every approach, right? So in this
so
approach, you
what are you saying is that I should play any,
so
learn fundamentals, and then take
there's
Hazel and
yes, there's two approaches. The first approach is easier approach, but that requires you to drop Aurelion permanently until you're Diamond 1,
alright.
right? That tells you to just drop it completely and just play Annie. The second approach is you play Aurelion Sol on this account, and then you play Annie on the other account. But the problem is, the downside of that approach is that you have triple the games or double the games that you would play. So if you play like 600 games, you're like 1200 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know,
But you,
I can
yeah, yeah. But
understand.
you approach the game primarily through improvement and fundamentally trying to get better at every little movement in lane by watching my videos, replicating those videos in your own those concepts in your own games,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Now the first thing that I tell people is just play one champion. Sure, you're playing the wrong champion, but that's like just like part of the issue. The next issue is you're playing random champions. You play Kassadin, Anivia, Katarina, Akali.
So I try Anivia one game and Cassadin because they pick me. So I was the last pick and then they pick Oriana. It was a free matchup, so
Okay,
I
but that
just
doesn't.
lose.
Yeah, but that stuff doesn't matter because
Yeah,
because
yeah.
because well, actually, Oriana, Kassadin loses to Oriana.
Uh, so I don't know. I played a couple of games with Cassadin into Oriana and I always won.
Right,
Maybe
but
because they
right.
have terrible fundamentals,
Yeah,
but
yes, exactly. So you win, but that's not an excuse to pick a champion,
yeah.
right? We have to
I
pick
know.
the champ. We have to stay with one champion because counters don't exist in Low Elo, right?
Yeah.
What counters ASOL?
I mean Diana, Irelia, whatever have a dash
Okay,
and can close the gap.
sure, okay. But Aurelian actually does pretty well into assassins.
Yeah, first in the early levels for sure.
Yes, you can get really good lane states against
Yeah,
most assassins, right? Um, and so then it becomes this thing where you just play around your stun, right? If they go in and you play the chess game with the stun, right?
yeah,
But anyways, you're not gonna get into these games where you have to worry about counters, especially in a rank like Silver 2. So
yeah,
you play Annie on your other account, you spam it for like as many games as you played ASOL, and you just practice what I talk about in the videos. That's all. And then maybe you can subscribe to Skill Capped. I think Skill Capped is good for beginner players, in like bronze, silver, gold. Anything above that, I think Skill Capped is pretty bad. But you can sub to them, or you can just watch their free videos. You don't even have to pay money, right?
yeah,
So or watch my video. My videos though are kind of advanced for some people.
yeah.
I
I
don't
see.
I don't recommend someone in Silver 2 learning my video, watching my videos.
Like I
You
found
know,
your video the most complete and have all the stuff that I found in
yeah,
any other
yeah, yeah,
place.
yeah, yeah. I
So
mean, you can improve by watching them, but understanding and grasping them is very difficult to do because it requires you to already have a very good knowledge and a very good baseline of the game. Especially
yeah,
right now, I'm coaching only challengers and master players. I'm not coaching anyone below master tier, right?
yeah. I saw
So
your last video and
yeah,
last
yeah, yeah.
streaming.
So like stuff like that. Like I don't believe that people can just a random platinum player cannot watch my videos and just be like, oh, this is what we're gonna do.
All right.
You know?
Yeah, I know. So
Unless like the platinum player watches like, I mean, maybe they'll learn some things, but like there's things that I will talk about that I'm not gonna explain, and those become
yeah,
weird, right? And then people when you take
because
them,
it's
hmm
you mean because it's basic, you don't explain that.
yeah, 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 and then when you
Like
take them
you
out
don't
of
need to explain
context,
the fundamentals to a challenger player.
yeah, I'm not gonna do
I mean,
that. I'm not gonna explain.
all
Yeah,
right,
there's no time for that, right?
all right,
Um,
all right,
so you know, I would just watch like you can watch like Curtis. Coach Curtis is really good for mid lane,
all right. Yes,
right?
I know him.
Yeah. I've spoken to him a few times. I ran into him here and there. Because last time I talked to him was I was doing something with Nathan and Curtis was in call or whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah. Anyways, so those guys like those two like Curtis is really good. Nathan's like jungle coach, but you can watch Coach Curtis. He's really good for low elo. I don't
all
believe
right,
he's not amazing for high elo, but he's really good for low elo. He's really good for the general league player,
all right.
right?
So what you are saying is that I should watch his videos and
Mm-hmm.
spam Annie
Mm-hmm.
until I reach a higher elo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep, yep, yep.
Then, so I mean, uh, if I
You
get
can still play
to,
ASOL, but like play it casually,
yeah, I
like
mean
not to yeah.
to, yeah, I mean to improve, to have a really good improvement in low. In I mean, I
Yes.
don't want to
Yes.
spend all of my life playing Annie or playing at league at least. I mean, I don't want use 2,000 game to reach platinum spamming ASOL. So if you're saying that in 6 months spamming Annie I can reach platinum,
You can reach.
for me it's
You're
fine.
gonna become a better ASOL player by playing Annie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If I use less time to
Yes.
improve,
Remember,
playing Annie is
right
fine.
now there's probably not much difference between you and a platinum ASOL player mechanically. There's not much difference. There's really not like just like there's no difference between me and like a grandmaster or like me or like a challenger Rek'Sai player. Like me playing Rek'Sai in master tier versus a challenger Rek'Sai, mechanically there's not much of a difference.
Yeah.
Right? This champion's pretty basic to play, but the difference is the ability to play the role in real time.
All right.
Right? And just like you, it's like your issue is not to get better at ASOL. That is not how you get better at the game. And obviously that might be a misconception that a lot of people put in your head because, you know, they don't know any better. But your goal is not to get good at ASOL, it's to get good at mid lane. There's a difference between getting good at a role and getting good at a champion. The champion doesn't matter. The mid lane is like the language, and the champion is like the expression, right?
All right.
You cannot express anything until you understand the language. But if you understand the language, then you can express it in many different ways. That's why you see different players, like really good players, playing different champions at all like at a very high level.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I put you up against a challenger mid laner, and he's never touched ASOL in his life, or I can put you up against me. I'm like master mid laner or like D1 mid laner. I have never played
Yeah.
ASOL ever. I've never touched the champion. I've not played it once, and
You will stomp me in a
I will
1v1 for
win.
sure.
I will win, and the reason
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
because the fundamentals. That's all. That's all it is.
All right.
Right?
Yes. So, I have, I mean, another question for
Mm-hmm,
you.
mm-hmm,
I played any couple of games, and I sometimes the 90% of time I win the lane with any when I played. All right.
mm-hmm.
So, but I feel like I can be 6-0 or shit like that. But if my top lane is, I don't know, 0-13, I can do nothing as any into a 13-0 Fiora, you know. So I can stun her and do my stuff, but if she survives, he can completely destroy me, and we
First of
lost the
all,
game.
you played about you played like 11 Annie games.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't spam it. I tried sometimes, but
All right. So you dipped your toe in the water. That's about it. And then by playing just a surface, by playing literally just by like touching the water, the surface of the water, you already judged. You have so many. You've developed so many random conclusions about you, about the game, about everything, just by literally touching the champion once. That's a problem. That's not a League of Legends issue. That's a you issue. That has nothing to do with
yeah,
the
yeah,
game.
yeah. I mean, I tried, so I did not really put effort in it. I just tried.
Yeah, right. But that's not
I
the
mean,
issue. The issue is you're developing conclusions.
no, it is not. It weren't a conclusion. Is a. I mean, I asked that question because I saw that, and I mean, for sure I does something wrong, but I did something wrong, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what. So maybe you have the answer to my questions to
You were
what should do.
you were saying that Annie doesn't affect the map, right?
All right.
You saying Annie does not affect the map is a conclusion.
No,
To
I say that I didn't affect. I'm
Mhm.
not able to affect the map as any me as a person, not the champion. So me, I
Oh,
am not able to.
then it's not the champion.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, but
Then just
I don't
get
know how to
then
do
you
it.
just get better. Oh, then I mean affecting the map doesn't really matter. See, okay, it's okay. I see what you're asking now. It's actually a good question. A lot of people have this issue. Affecting the map, you don't have to do that because if you just play 100 games and win lane 100 times, you will climb despite your teammates inting. It is mathematically impossible for your teammates to, you know, for you to win lane and always have the losing team.
Yeah,
And if you
I
just play your
know.
mechanics well, even after the mid game or even after the early lane phase, going into mid and late, when towers fall and everything, you can still one shot people. But
Yeah.
the issue is you haven't done that. So it shouldn't be a question.
No, all right.
Right? It should only be a question if you've done it and you failed, but you never failed. You haven't attempted.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, I'm looking at. I mean,
All
I'm
right.
not share screening with you. Maybe I can. but I'm looking at your OPGG here.
Yeah.
Where the hell is it? Here. You see this? Like you haven't actually played the champion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really.
You're like 38 unique, but whatever. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, you're saying that I should try more, try to spam more any, and that thing is not going to happen. Like I can win more games if I win lanes, right?
Yes.
Because it's not important affecting the
yes,
map.
yes, yes. If it's 5v, if it's a 5v5 summoner game, and there are 5 players who are really bad versus 5 other players, if you can just make that 9, if you can make it 4v5, you win the game.
All right.
Right?
All right. Yeah.
And to do that, well, there's a whole way to do that on my YouTube. There's a whole process
Yeah.
that you can just find online.
By fundamentals,
That's
you
by
mean?
fundamentals. Yes, you can just find it online, right?
Right.
So me watching you play it's not gonna achieve anything because all I'm gonna see is bad gameplay.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? It wouldn't achieve anything. So the way I want to approach this is I want to tell you, hey, this is what you need to be doing differently in order to achieve a better result through perspective. Because perspective is very important in League of Legends, and the way you see improvement and the way you see refinement and growth can dictate how much you actually end up growing as a player and as a person. You know.
All right.
Yeah. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So, how much I have to spam any until I know that I have decent fundamentals?
I think that players have pretty good fundamentals, or players have relatively okay fundamentals by Diamond 1. Now, that's a really big jump. So let's just say, for now, let's just say D4. Everyone can hit D4. Now, the difference between D4 and D1 is a lot more than it is between, where you're at in D4. D4 is closer to silver than it is to master tier, even though the ranking system said otherwise. Okay? So, that being said, you need to play up until Diamond 4, keep playing Annie, evaluate where you're at, and then go to Diamond 1 with other, see, I don't want to talk about that stuff right now because you're not even D4. So, probably better just to hit D4 first.
Alright, so whenever I reach D4, I can maybe get another coaching session or stuff like that. And
yeah, if you hit Diamond 4, then if I'm coaching at the time, we can do something like that, but I would just go to my free coaches. Because at that point, even in D4, you're not really asked to do anything super high level.
Advanced.
Yeah, it's still very basic stuff that you need to do that you can still win out and win. D4 is it's like a shiny silver, it's like a better,
right.
slightly better silver. That's about it. It's not much.
So I ever look at I don't know.
Yeah.
When I think at Diamond is so far up in my
it's really
in my
not.
head.
You're not that far away from Diamond 4 at least.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Anyways, I hope that can answer your question.
Yeah, that answered the question.
Okay.
So
yeah,
it's all fine.
Yeah. I mean, we still have 10 minutes or so. I don't mind going a little over time. It doesn't as long as we answer all of your questions, it doesn't matter.
So I mean, if you have any advice any other advices to give me before leave, I really appreciate that.
Well, I think that when I talk to League of Legends players, usually I can just talk to them for a few minutes, not even about League of Legends, and I can know what rank they could be at if they were to play the game.
Yeah.
I know that sounds really weird, but the less of you and the less conclusions you draw and the less assumptions you have about the game, and if you can see the game for what it is, the higher rank you'll get.
All right.
Does that make sense? It's a little vague, but
I mean, I don't really understand it, but I can work on it.
What I'm trying to say is, the more random people are low elo for one reason: they have too much nonsense in their heads about what they need to be doing in the game. Right? That's the
All
only
right.
reason. That's the only reason. If you just play the game for what it is, you cannot be in silver. You physically cannot be in gold. The problem is the culture, the community, the people playing the game have concocted multiple misconceptions about the game between each other, by the way. This is all between each other. Because they don't, and what they're doing is they're not playing the game correctly or the way it's supposed to be played because they've developed random assumptions. I'll show you an example. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Summoner School. This place is a fucking cesspool of misconceptions. Hold on, it's not loading. I think that my internet is, yeah. Anyways, so like right here, right? What is this?
Yeah.
Focus on real improvement. Who is this? What is this?
It's like,
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
yeah,
Is
it's like
someone that is saying that he's not is not improving or something like that?
I have no idea. Well, see, like, what the hell is this? Look at this line.
Players are starting to become much better. Exclaimed.
This is okay.
Right.
Players are starting to become much better as he climbs up the ladder. Sure, they adapt to
Yeah.
meta strategies and champion faster than lower ranks and know how to counter them. This is not true. This is not true. Up until like Master, Challenger. And Riot also decides to nerf these cheesy strategies and champions. Hold on, this guy might have this has a point. Hold on. Oh, actually, okay, this is actually not that bad advice. But like, stuff like this can still be taken out of context. Right, I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Let's watch another one.
Yeah, for sure.
Fucking paragraph, yeah. The ultimate tip for carrying low elo games. Let's see what this guy's saying. Thing is, we all make countless mistakes in lane. This is why it's easy for master and challenger players to 1v9 every single game. No, it's not. We don't 1v9 every game. The most common mistake I see making is wave management. See, like he thinks this is wave management.
All right.
It's not.
That is wrong.
It's not wave management. It's not wave management. Wave management is not what you need. Like, sure, it's important, but you don't space. You don't trade. You don't look at the map. And your mouse is bad. Your camera speed is bad. All that shit is actually more important than managing your waves.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that is fundamentals. Managing the wave is not.
Now, what this guy is saying is he's basically just spouting the same nonsense that people have been, fucking talking about for the past 10 years. What have you said that's so groundbreaking? It's the same thing. Of course wave management helps you get better. Like, what? And then he gets upvoted because he's speaking something that makes sense to the general consensus of what these people believe is correct. But when I make a post and I tell them the only reason you're low elo is because you have too many misconceptions about not only the game but also your life, then you're always gonna come out behind. It's not even nothing to do with League of Legends. And when I mention something like that, I'll get backlash from people. When I tell people don't play jungle in bronze, silver, gold, and even in platinum sometimes, I'll get backlash from people. When I tell people that Diamond 4 is the same as bronze, I get backlash from people. Because it doesn't meet the general idea of what the community believes is true. Right? And so what I'm telling you is don't fall into this fucking trap of everyone telling you what is correct and you're trying to find information because no one knows what the hell's going on. Right?
Alright.
You don't
this is a lot of random stuff, you mean?
Yes, you don't ask a platinum player how to get better. He doesn't know he's platinum. Right?
Alright.
Here's another one, roaming as a support. So occasionally I've been playing support, mainly Pike. I have issues when it comes to roaming. Whenever I roam to help other lanes, I get flamed by my ADC. Okay, don't play support in low elo. But if I type that, I get backlash for that. Although it is correct. Because the way you get better at support is you play mid and top, and then you go to support and you get better at laning. Better supports are good at laning. The difference between a platinum and a challenger is laning majority of the time. Almost all of the time. Actually, 100% of the time it's just laning. But these people don't understand that. So now when these people give advice to this player, they're giving them advice based on their idea of League of Legends, and none of them are high elo. None of them are high elo. They don't know any better. They actually don't know any better. Like, what is this? You should roam when enemy laners have gone back or when you see ADC is safe. There's an opportunity made. I mean, sure. Great. But, like, at the end of the day, it doesn't This is like you're putting a bandage on like a fucking like like a severed arm.
Yeah,
It doesn't. Come
I
on, man.
understand.
Right?
I understand that. Yeah,
So when you play the game and you understand the game, you avoid this nonsense because all of these people, they're colorblind, trying to solve a Rubik's cube, and they're also it's literally just blind leading the blind. None of them know what they're doing. None of them
all
have
right.
any idea what they're doing, right?
So they are saying random stuff to people that think that those
Yes,
stuff are right.
yes. And so this is the same issue with you right now. There is
Yeah,
all these misconceptions about the game that have been drilled into your head through videos, through streamers, through friends, through whatever, right? Through whatever mediums you're interacting with,
yeah,
and those have actually made you a worse player. That's why there's a difference between a seasonal silver gold player versus someone who is silver for the first time in their year. If you just
yeah.
started the game and you're silver, you are a better player than all the gold players and platinum players who are stuck in there for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, because they don't understand. There's no room for growth there. But the difference between the new player and the player that's a fucking a permanent resident in their level is the new player sees the game for what it is, and he's not held back by all these random misconceptions that he himself put up. The only reason why majority of people are low elo is their own barriers, and,
Yeah.
and they complain to other people. They try to find some magic pill, or they try to find some fucking like treasure chest by watching my videos, and they don't understand that the only like problem is themselves at the end of the day, and that's nothing to do with League of Legends.
All right.
Okay, so that's like the best
All
advice
right.
I can give anybody in low elo. Like literally, that is the best advice. I know it's vague, and I know a lot of people don't talk about this stuff, but that is the number one thing that's stopping you from getting better.
All
Okay,
right. Thank you so
all right,
much.
man. Anyways, I hope this helps. Do you have any final questions?
I think that is all fine for the moment,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll try to spam Annie and do whatever so everything you said to me today and
Mm-hmm.
what you say in your videos.
Okay. Yep.
All right.
Anyways,
Thank you so
I'll
much.
talk to you. Okay, man. I'll see you around. Okay, bye.
Bye bye.
All right, see ya.